The Reaction Doctor is back to take a look at the Crux Prime. Yes, it's another ball with a spec cover and another ball I've released a handful of videos on. Still, people seem to have trouble matching up with it or figuring it out, so if you have a Prime that's holding the floor or a shelf down somewhere, watch the video and consider giving it another chance. Once again, bowling balls are expensive, and nothing sucks more than getting excited about a new ball just to have it end up being a boat anchor. Now, I've always told people that at least with a storm ball, if you don't like it, you can always hang it from your rearview mirror in your car and use it as an air freshener. We've been over SPEC a lot. It's strong, it's smooth, doesn't absorb oil as fast, blends wet-dry better than anything else out there. With the Prime, despite being asymmetric, the design of the catalyst core was intended to help maintain the design core specs after drilling as closely as possible. When you drill holes in a ball with a typically shaped core, the holes change the shape of the core, which changes the numbers, which ultimately affects/alters the reaction. The thumb is where the largest amount of material comes out of, usually, unless you bury the fingers or something, but when the thumb material is removed most often from the side of the core, it changes the ratio of the height to the width of the core, lowering RG and raising differential, which makes the ball roll more strongly and adds flair. With the catalyst core, it's designed to offset that, as when you drill into the Prime using a quote-unquote typical layout, you'll probably miss the core completely unless you're using an interchangeable thumb system, and even then, you're still not affecting it much. So while you still have the asymmetry, you end up with a smoother and less dynamic motion, still more than a symmetric core, but like a symmetric core with a bit more torque instead of a lot more torque. The addition of the spec cover means you end up with a really smooth overall reaction. Now, Tamara Bowling did a surface comparison video and found out that changing the surface on the Prime only really changed the distance it hooked at. The shape remained virtually identical. I'd suggest finding that and taking a look if you're interested and haven't seen it. Usually when you add or reduce surface, the amount of total hook changes, the distance at which the ball starts to hook changes, and the shape changes. So while the ability to change hook amount and distance without altering the shape on the Prime can be incredibly helpful, it means that you also have less tuning options if you don't like that shape. I think that ultimately it boils down to how you throw the ball. I had thought that it was going to fit games that smoother reactions generally fit well, but I've seen higher speed and or lower rev games match up very well with this ball, specifically because they don't depend on the ball to shape itself. Generally, people who get out of the ball really easily and let the ball do the work will have more issues with the Prime than people who roll the ball and control more of the reaction themselves. If you're used to flying out of the ball and letting it work, this probably won't be the greatest reaction for you no matter where you stand or what you do with the surface. However, by slowing it down a little, rolling the ball a bit, and giving it time to work, that allows it to come to life. Several people have told me they wish their Prime looked like mine did, but I have a very heavy rolling game that gives the Prime plenty of time to wind up and get to work. Part of its slow and easy nature is the cover, part of it's the core. Remember, the original Crux series was pretty smooth as well. Now, I don't think surface changes or moving around on the lane is going to change anything with this one. It's going to require some physical changes to get the most out of it. If nothing else, it could be a training tool to help you add something to your physical arsenal. I often use balls that I don't match up with to help me try and learn something or grow in a certain area that I'm not that good at. If you typically have trouble with longer or heavier volumes, pull the Prime out. It'll make you slow down and roll the ball, which will help teach you how to create more effective ball motion on those types of conditions. Thanks for watching.